Hello. Okay, my friends, here it is. The Saturday morning live stream at the Garden Like a Viking headquarters. On this beautiful day, we just had a whole night of rain, which is awesome. We actually haven't had a lot of moisture this year, but I'm hoping that that's not indicative of an upcoming another hot and dry summer. It would be nice if we had a classic Indiana summer where it rains every couple days, and it's not bone dry and blazing hot for like 3 months on end like it was the past several years. So guys, let me know if everything is working. Here's the sound check. I planted peas yesterday. Okay, what did I say? Gotta hear the sound check. Guys, let us know where you're at and what you have planted. What have you direct sowed into the garden? What do you have started up? Okay, so let's see here. Yes, Evil Roy. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you, Jay. Jay Dixon says, works great. That's what I said. Planted peas yesterday. And guys, I did. Planted peas yesterday. And these ones, which I can't pronounce, and these other ones, which I've grown before, and these are really good. So here is the thing. In the springtime, I like to plant the peas that are tall, the big ones. That so like, for example, these are snow peas, and they get like 6 feet tall. And this is a new one I'm going to try this year. It grows, supposedly it's been bred to have really big, thick, juicy tendrils. So I'm looking forward to that. Also peas, snap peas, but tendrils are the main thing you grow this for. So because these kind of peas require a lot of infrastructure, meaning that they have to get 6 feet tall or 5 feet tall before they will start to really fruit and stuff, then they'll fruit boatloads. There will be a bunch of peas. But we plant those in the early spring so that they got the whole, as long as they can, to grow and to produce before it gets too hot. About the end of June, give or take, is peas are done. It's too hot. So they'll turn brown, or they'll get hard and fibrous. They'll get tough. Then in the fall time, we plant the dwarf peas in about late August, mid to late August, even 1st of September. We plant the dwarf peas so that they only get 2 feet tall at the most, and then they start fruiting. So that's how you like to stagger peas if you have 2 plantings and you want variety. But the thing is, these are not storage peas. These are just snow peas because I make stir fries all season long. Jay Dixon says, what do you do with the pea tendrils? Stir fries. Guys, I'm huge on stir fries. Get you a good wok. It's in my Amazon storefront, the one that I get that I highly recommend. Handmade, carbon steel, no non-stick coating, none of that rubbish. Get you a good wok, learn how to use it, and then stir fry the garden all summer long. Fresh veggie, you just have your meat source or your protein source, whatever you like. But I red meat, sometimes chicken, but mostly clean, grass-fed red meat. And then a variety of vegetables of choice all summer. Over rice, white rice, that's what we do. So these are going to be very good for the stir fries. And yes, Mick Hegarty, warm bacon vinaigrette with pea tendril salad. Whoa, warm bacon vinaigrette. Can you expand on that in some way? How am I to do that? Yes, Modern Pioneer says, I have a cast iron wok. Me too. I have that one as well. Although I found it's good for certain things. The cast iron wok, if it's the thick one, the Lodge cast iron, it's because a wok, you really need to be able to manipulate the heat, to have it blazing hot and then tone it down for a moment and then get back blazing hot if you need it like that. So that's why I like the real thin pounded carbon steel one. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, Mick. He says, I'll put it on the Discord. Please do that. All right. So let's get into some questions. Jason Payatis. Hi, Nate. Need your advice. Tried your potato grow bag technique. Loved it. But also want to try the wire fencing straw tower technique this year. Have you tried or do you recommend it? I was going to try it and I might still. I've not tried. No, because well, I've not seen anything that is even remotely convincing to me to say that, hey, this is a better method than either the grow bags or the roof stout method. I am going to do a potato video this year on the roof stout method, which I used to use at the Temple Garden several years ago with great results. But the grow bag method, every method has its pros and cons. The grow bag method is when you can't utilize your native soil, or when you have rocks, or when you can't plant it in the ground. Or if you need the ease of harvesting, the grow bags, you can just tip them over, and sort out the potatoes and stuff. Because harvesting potatoes in the classic method, the trench where you're hilling them up and stuff, not only is it very laborious to do, and you have to weed constantly and things like this, but it also is difficult to harvest. You have to get your digging fork in there, and you have to get it up, and you have to spear a bunch of them. And as soon as you spear them, then they're no good for storage. I'm over the classic, in the trenches method. But no, well, the main thing is that you want to make sure you get the right varieties. So for the tower method, the Yukon Gold, if you're talking about the kind where they grow out the side, the wire mesh, if that's the kind you're talking about, then make sure that you get determinate type. Make sure that you get a Yukon Gold or a Red Norland or any of the reds, something like that. Don't be using one of the classic Russet Burbanks or one of the German Butterballs, because those are like more indeterminate type, and they'll put out super long vines, and you can actually get a little more production. It's not like people think. You can't, those towers that they show on a lot of videos and stuff. You'd be hard pressed to find a real video of someone getting a real good harvest off of those. There's all kinds of fake BS videos about potato harvesting, guys. And a few weeks ago, I put a link to one of the videos that had millions of views. It had 4.7 million views at that time. And so I know that guy's made like 10 grand off that video, and it's total fabricated lie. And it's just ridiculous. He went to the store and got potatoes, and I know that for sure. I mean, because of all the things, But then you look down on all the comments, everyone's like, this is great, I'm going to try this. Wow, wonderful. He grew potatoes in tires. Look how easy it is to just grow just all these mountains. The guy just poured out these tires, and there was just mountains of potatoes falling down. Huge, so ridiculous. And when he was harvesting them, guys, the potato plant, the little sickly little looking potato plants that he had just begun to flower. Okay, so I know, and most of you probably know, that when the potato starts to flower is when they begin their tuber production. They really ramp up their tuber production. And he just had these little sickly little plants sticking out of this tire with a bunch of muck in it, a bunch of mud, and like that is going to produce 37 pounds of just huge plump potatoes. No, millions of views, guys. It's just ridiculous. So, I don't know what got me started on that. Oh yeah, but for most of the time, those towers don't really work, because most potatoes don't grow that way. You can, even the indeterminate type, you can get some extra production, but you can't get like 6 feet of production out of them. And if you have, let me know. Put pictures on the Instagram and tag me, or put pictures on the Discord chat and tag me. Okay. So Jason Payetas, 10 euro. Thank you, my friend. Are you in Greece by chance? That seems like a Greek name. Thank you for the contribution. So Susan Fit 47 says, I'm trying the roof stout method for my potatoes for the first time. Guys, the roof stout method is phenomenal for potatoes. I used it at the Temple Garden for several years. I used it for everything. Squash and corn and beans and even greens and peppers. I used it for all that kind of stuff. But the thing, well, I'll make a video on the roof stout. Yeah, definitely. You just got to make sure that you get plenty of the straw, and do not use hay. Do not use hay. Otherwise, you will be seeding a field of hay wherever you are putting your potatoes. And ask me how I know this. Way back in the day, 2 huge round bales of hay. And I essentially just seeded the entire plot with hay. So, yes, Busy Girl says a lot of people are faking their gardens for views. Oh, absolutely. I see it all the time now, especially because I know what the, like plants look like, healthy plants look like. I know what that plant should be producing, give or take, and it's just total fabrication. And and yet people are hitting me up. Did you see how they grew them in these tires? They dipped them in concrete. These people sliced the potato, dipped it in concrete, and then planted it. And whoa, wow! And then they buried a little fish inside. Just the whole video's a joke. It's fake. Jason Paeta says, yes, I'm in Corfu. Oh yeah, magical island, definitely. Toured around there a little bit. And yes, I spent a couple of seasons near the island, near Levkada, in the village of Palaros on the Ionian Sea, teaching scuba diving. Let's see here. Donald Hughes says, only grow potatoes for fertilizer. Too many carbs. Eat sweet potatoes. Guys, sorry, Donald. Potatoes are a superfood. And we don't have to worry at all about the carbs, about the starches in the potatoes, not one bit whatsoever. We don't have to worry about that. They are a superfood. You can eat homegrown potatoes that are bursting with nutrients and life because you grew them in your own nutrient-rich soil using techniques that are beyond organic. Yes, the actual Irish potato is one of I think the only vegetable that the human being can survive on alone for a long time because it has everything that the body needs for a time. They are very nourishing and absolutely something that you should not be afraid to include in your diet. But sweet potatoes are also wonderful too. I'm growing tons of sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Outsider Attila says, yo, Viking, I get dead doves from time to time. Should I bury them on my soil or dump them in the compost? You know, up to you. I mean, if you only get them occasionally, then I would probably just compost in place. I would probably just bury it, a foot and a half deep in proximity to one of like a tomato plant or a squash plant, something like that. Yeah, or bury it and then plant something on top of it. You could put them in the compost as well, but it might start smelling a bit. So the Tree Rogi says, question, I'm getting one major slip on my sweet potato, 8 inches, and a couple tiny ones starting. Should I cut it? And where? Back to the base? No, it's no problem, guys. Sweet potatoes are a marvel. They're really incredible. So you want to, now here's the thing though, and that's why I just started my sweet potato slips 3 or 4, 5 days ago maybe, is because sweet potatoes are not one of the crops that you want to hurry up and get out as soon as the last frost is over. You really, I mean, they want it warm. They want it hot, really. So sweet potatoes are the crop that here our last frost technically is June or May 15th. And so I don't really plant sweet potatoes until, a week after that, or even June 1st. Like watermelons and squash and stuff like that, I direct sow June 1st, for a good harvest in the fall, those storage type crops. Just because, and sweet potatoes are the same way. I mean, if you wait till it's nice and hot, they will grow so much faster. But the Tree Rogi says, Matt Damon lived on Mars for a year eating potatoes. That's right, he sure did. Yeah, there's many flaws in that thing. But anyways, the sweet potato slips. So no, it doesn't matter. See, the sweet potatoes, they'll grow the vine. And then even if it's like 4 feet long, which I've had that happen several times, that's okay because you can actually cut it so that there's like 6 leaves. Like when it comes time, once it's about 2 weeks before planting time, you can cut that vine into sections that are about 8 inches long, so long as they got about 6 leaf nodes in between them, and then cut off the bottom couple and root those in water. So from one vine that's like 3 or 4 feet long, you could get actually like 3 or 4 or 5 slips from that. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about cutting it. And those small ones, those are going to start growing as well. Those are going to grow. No problem. Cape Gardner says, hello, Nate. Hope you are good. I am good. Thank you very much, my friend. Same to you. Let's see here. Rose Halpin says, are we supposed to cut the flowers off of potatoes as they are growing? No, not at all. No need for that. You just let it happen. And not all potatoes flower, so it doesn't really matter. It's not indicative of, oh, it's not flowering, so what do I do? Or, oh, it's flowering. That's just generally once they flower, then that's when the tuber production really begins. Yes, Richard Hoof says, in reference to the potatoes in a tire, imagine, if you will, a large group of people who watch each other's videos. You make money, I make money. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely like that. Especially when you look, a lot of these fake accounts are like people in Indonesia and the Philippines and like villages and stuff where you get a video with 4.7 million views in 1 month, and that guy's made like 10 grand from that video alone. It's just... So there's, like I always say, guys, you show me the incentive, I will show you the outcome. Meaning that people do what they are incentivized to do. And so there's a huge incentive for this guy to just make videos so he can make money. And in those kind of countries, that's like generational wealth. I mean, if you've got millions of views and 3 million subscribers and stuff, that's just like really good for them. So, it is what it is, but... I'm not about it. Big Wheel Dog says, Nate, I put Yukon Gold and Kennebec potatoes into bags. Are they the same type of plant? Determinate, indeterminate? Yeah, they'll be fine. The Yukon Golds, though, will be ready a little bit sooner, but that doesn't matter. So, yeah, they'll be fine. But remember, guys, with potatoes, you do not have to harvest. This is something that I don't hear enough people saying, that you don't have to harvest the potatoes. So many people, okay, the vine is just starting to die. Now I got to harvest the potatoes. No, the way to do potatoes is to let the whole plant just completely die and just leave them in the ground until you need them. Even if that's a month or 2 months, then you can leave them in the ground. That's what I do. You can dig them up as you need them, but remember, for potatoes, the clock starts ticking once they are dug up out of the ground. But if they are in the ground, then they're still totally 100% in dormancy. So you don't have to worry about that. Because they need to experience a cold spell, the potato tuber does, before it will say, okay, now it's the next season, and I will break dormancy. So not a freezing spell, but they need to experience cold. That's just how they work. Rose Halpin says, are you closer to getting your land that you want to get yet? Closer, yes, because it's all about building the brand and building the revenue sources and the community and all of that stuff to acquire the land. So that is what we're focusing on now, definitely. But no, not actually looking for land at this point, no. It'll still be a few seasons away. Dagmar, welcome to our community all the way from Germany. Yes, welcome. Yes. Morena says, are potato vines edible like sweet potato vine leaves? When can they be harvested for salads and things without harming the tubers? Potato vines are not, no. Sweet potatoes are, yes. But sweet potatoes are barely related to potatoes. Only like in their name, really, are they related. The sweet potatoes are morning glory family. And so, no, do not try to eat the potato, any part of the potato except the tuber. That's the only part that you want to eat. Pam, hello, my friend, says, I overbaked the eggshells yesterday. The liquid vinegar was dark brown. Is it okay to use, or must I toss and use again? Start again. Thank you. No, that doesn't matter. So if you overbake them, the reason that we have to bake the eggshells is to burn off that protein membrane, the fat and the protein membrane from the eggshell, because otherwise that is going to spoil in storage. It's not going to store as long. You'll see mold growing on top, and then it's like goes rancid. So it's not a problem. You don't want to char them, but if you did, then it's still fine, because the eggshells are almost indestructible. I mean, the eggshells are, that's what they make. Essentially, it's the same thing that limestone is made out of. I mean, millions of years ago, but essentially it's the same thing. Calcium deposits. So. Johnny Appleseed Agriculture. Oh, are you in Fort Wayne? Says Nate, does willow oak work for your willow kelp rooting hormone solution? Willow oak, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that specific one, actually. So let's see here. Let me just do a quick thing. Willow oak. Let me see what it looks like. It doesn't look like a willow. I don't think so. No. It's in the red oak group of oaks. So no, it will not work. It's not a willow. So there's the answer to that. It has to be in the willow family, because that has the hormones that we need. And guys, somebody left a comment on that video, which is doing really well. The rooting hormone video. Someone left a comment on that was like, I can't believe you're doing this. This is crazy. This company is going to sue you for releasing their secret formula. And I was like, well, not really. I mean, unlikely, because all I did was turn the bottle around and read the ingredients and then make my own based upon that. Now, back in the day, I did do more research into that, and the Tappan Roots company probably uses an alcohol extraction method for their willow and their kelp, which would make it more concentrated, but not $290 a gallon more concentrated, that's for sure. So, and I just found that it works. And so we've got look at all these cuttings. These things are thriving. Look how healthy this little jungle is. These figs and blackberries, and everything's just shiny and really healthy, and they're all praying up towards the sky. And you can see new growth. You can see the new green growth happening. So this, you want to use that stuff, guys. You can use it in everything. So remember, it's all multifaceted. It's not like, okay, you make one solution and then use that, and it's like the answer. It's not like chemical farming. The natural farming is you want to learn all the different concoctions that you can learn, and then just keep them in your repertoire. That you can use them when you need them, and you can combine certain things, and you just need to know what ratios, what does what, So the growth hormone stimulators, I mean, look, man, that rosemary has doubled in size since last episode. Yeah, finally seeing them roots come out the bottom. See, I took some cuttings from the rosemary, and it is really taken off now that I have given it this rooting hormone. I mean, that's a super healthy looking cutting for sure. And I actually didn't have any cuttings fail of the rosemary. This is the only one that looks like it might be failing, but even that is still alive. So all the rest have resumed active growth. So yeah, I mean, this one's getting all bushy up top because I kind of topped it. You guys know about topping, huh? And yeah, so we just give the stuff, and they love this. Look at how healthy they are. These Chicago Hardy figs, I'm really looking forward to growing some of these figs. You see how they got that healthy, new, shiny growth on top? That's what you want. This stuff right here. Yes. So I just wanted to show you that. And that is what is possible. That's what you do with the rooting hormone. So in the beginning of the year, you give them some of that stuff. Just put in because once you make the concoctions, then you put in a little bit of that, and then you go by feel. You read the plants and you say, okay. Once you know what each thing does and the effect that it has, then you can just go in, look at the plants, kind of read the environment, see where the sun is, see what the moisture level is like. Smell is very important, and then you will say, okay, I feel like they're wanting some more calcium. Is what I mean. You just kind of go by feel, and then you open up your secret laboratory and you go in there and you go, okay, so I'm going to use 1 ounce of the rooting hormone. We're going to make an aerated compost tea with it, and I will add the rooting hormone at the very end of the brewing process. Then we'll add a little bit of fish amino acids like that. Okay, so. And then you just do it by feel. And then the plants are just, and then you just read the plants and you see. And when the plant is happy, that's an expression of what is happening in the soil. And so you know that you've got it right. So let us see here. Johnny Appleseed says, a corkscrew willow is another willow I planted 3 years ago. Just took the highest leading branch off, so have some cuttings. Will that work? A corkscrew willow? Well, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do a Google search. So corkscrew willow, and we're gonna see if that is okay. That's an actual willow. Yes, that is an actual willow, and that will work. Yes. Definitely. So you want to watch the video though, and you want that new growth, that new fresh growth. You want to be able to wrap it around your hand so that it doesn't split or break or anything. That's when it's got that good hormones in it. So Camp 51C, if you want to, so it says, what water pump for feeding garden out of the 55-gallon barrel? I put it in my Amazon storefront, and it is the ultimate pump. It's a little bit pricey. I recommend to get the good one. And that thing is industrial grade. I mean, I put that thing, it's heavy, and it's got like a 14-foot cord on it. You put that thing in there, and you got good water pressure. I love that pump because, yeah, after my time in Northern California, when I had to like live by water pumps and stuff, that I was over cheap pumps. I'm just totally over cheap pumps. Yeah. Yes. Roverino says, rosemary cuttings, very easy to root. Yes, they are. I've been doing it for many years, just like basil. Sweet potato slips are put right into the soil to root. That's what farmers do around here. Yes. Where are you located? So you will, that will depend. Around here, we can't do that because they will not take. Yeah, Busy Girl says, any real willow works. Yeah, it has to be actual willow, not just the name. So the now Nicholas Tihuna says, is it possible to freeze the rooting hormone for use later in the year? Now, I don't see why not. I mean, I think you'd be fine in the refrigerator though. I mean, for quite some time. I just typically, when I make it, it's like in the spring, you know, because everything wants to grow fast with the hormones in the spring. So we don't really add it like in the late summer and stuff. I mean, yeah, you could definitely with the fall garden. You definitely could save some for the fall garden, but it would probably be fine just in the refrigerator. But yeah, you could freeze it. I'm just not sure because I haven't done that, so I don't know for sure. Yes, Cape Gardener says, I failed to root my rosemary cuttings. I tried without rooting hormones, but I will try again. Try with the rooting hormone, definitely. They'll like that, for sure. Roverino says, Southwest Ontario, commercial sweet potato slips are sold without roots. Yes, yes. Well, I've not got them to 100% success. That's for sure. But when I do it with roots, then there's 100% success. So if you have the option, then I highly suggest doing the roots, putting it until they will begin to root. So let us see here. Okay, so there's a couple of other things. Weebler says, just started watching Dr. Elaine Ingham. I already know what he's going to say about that. He's going to talk about anaerobics versus aerobic. She says, adding anaerobic bacteria like anaerobic ferments to the soil works against the beneficial aerobic bacteria building soil life. What's your take on that? Yeah, that's just not my experience. And, she's a scientist, definitely, and she knows her stuff. But that doesn't mean that it's gospel, and that doesn't mean that she has a full understanding of the way the 20,000 different strains of bacteria and fungi all work together. And she doesn't understand every single thing about, the functioning of all of them. And so that's fine. I've never seen Elaine Ingham's garden. That's one thing. People were big into it in Northern California at the time, but I've never seen her like thriving garden. Because that's really where it's at. That's really where the proof of everything is at, in my opinion. Unless you're trying to be a scientist and you're trying to debate scientific facts for whatever reason, if you're into that, that's fine. But you need to have a basic understanding of the biology. You need to have a basic understanding of how it works, and then you need to do it. You need to experiment, and then you need to observe, and you need to see what works and what doesn't based upon what it produces, meaning a thriving, healthy plant that can defend itself and all from pathogens, from diseases, from most insects. That's the real ticket. And so anaerobic ferments can definitely help get you there. So I don't subscribe to that same belief whatsoever. Now, all of that being said, over the years, I've changed my tune a bit as far as like the JMS and the JLFs. I don't apply any of that to the plants anymore. And I'm being clear on that in several of my videos. That's for the soil. So in my opinion, anaerobic ferments are for the soil only. And that just helps to eliminate any possibility of disease, of having to worry about disease or anything funky on the plant leaves. And we let them digest. So I apply them to the soil. The only thing that I apply to the leaves are the aerated compost teas, which you will soon be seeing, and everyone should be doing this year. And also, I mean, you could say that the FAA is an anaerobic ferment. That the fish, all the fish fertilizers are anaerobic ferments, and I use those all the time. Those are great foliars. Yes. Okay, Johnny says JWA, which is the wetting agent, JDOM sulfur, or JDOM herbal solution foliarly. Yes, those are to be applied foliarly, yes. But the thing is, I actually don't have to use those anymore. It's like medicine for the plant, for your garden. You don't want to take medicine your whole life. You don't want to just, now the rest of my life I'm taking this medicine. You want to take something so that it will heal you, and then once you no longer need it, then it goes by the wayside, and you just live a clean life with natural inputs. It's a similar way to the garden. That the herbal solutions and the wetting agent and the sulfur, those are like problem solvers. Those are like medications. You only use them periodically if you have to, and then you stop as soon as the problem is cleared up. So we don't just continue spraying all the time with all this stuff, and because it just doesn't, the plants don't thrive like that, Even the wetting agent and stuff, which is that alone, the wetting agent alone fixes so many things. The wetting agent alone. Between that and my ultimate slug solution, cabbage worms, aphids, mites, all that kind of stuff just melts them instantly. Slugs, it melts them instantly. And so that's pretty much all I use anymore. if I have to, and it's just for the cabbage worms, the cabbage moths, and the slugs. So, and then the rest of the stuff pretty much just takes care of itself. The soil, after several years here now, the soil is thriving, and you just need to top things off with the aerated compost teas and stuff. So, let's see. Big Will Dog says, did you look into the Butterneck from In My Gardener? No, I didn't. Yeah, sorry. Slips my mind again. You're going to have to send me something or post something to the Discord if you really want my opinion on it, because I just forget. AK Froggy says, says, question, can you speak to the issue of grazon in manures? It seems to be a topic on Discord, and I've never even heard of it. Yes, I can speak on that. So guys, you have to be very careful about the manures that you are getting, because now there is an ingredient, a broadleaf herbicide, 2,4-D. It goes by many names, chemical names and stuff, but grazon is one of the names. And it's designed to make it so that farmers can spray their hay fields, and it will eliminate plants that aren't of the hay that they don't want, thistles and stuff like that. It will eliminate anything that's not the hay. And it's called grazon because they can spray it and then almost immediately let the animals go and graze on the land that they sprayed. And so these huge concentrations of these broadleaf herbicides are being consumed by the animals. Also, it's persistent in the hay itself. So if they spray it at any time, it just stays around for a long time. Then they harvest the hay, and then they bring it to the equestrian place, and the horses eat it, and it passes. It does not denature. It is not denatured by the digestive system of the animal. It's not denatured by hot composting even. So you're not safe even then. So none of it denatures, and it passes on in the manure, and it continues persistent working as a broadleaf herbicide. So it just sounds kind of sinister. Like somebody in a laboratory was like, hey, let's make this almost like a weapon. And so that farmers, gardeners can no longer utilize the oldest fertilizer that exists, manure. So now you can no longer use that. Yeah, you can no longer, so you can destroy your garden, because in the past, most people were farmers. It was not like it is now, at least in America, where you drive and you see these oceans of corn and soybeans and wheat, and all genetically modified. And there's just a handful of massive farming families that do all of that. A handful of families are doing hundreds or thousands of acres, as opposed to the way it used to be that most people were farmers, but they had small holdings of like 5 acres or less. And they grew a number of different things, utilizing animals. Animals are a critical component to the whole thing. And so they would use the manures, but now we can't. We can if we're sure that it has not been sprayed with the broadleaf herbicide. But you need to ask. You need to ask nowadays. So was this hay that the animal was fed sprayed with the broadleaf herbicide of any kind? And if the person is like, shouldn't be, don't take that. Then you need to talk to somebody that's like, nope, we don't spray it with nothing. We don't spray it with anything. That's the only way that you can be sure. For the most part, though, it is only in like equestrian horses, because the horses are more picky about the kind of food that they eat. And so the people will growing like higher dollar horse type hay, then they will use the broadleaf herbicide. And so so if you see really nice hay that's soft and very few thick weeds in it and stuff, it's probably been sprayed. Yeah, Cowgirl says, my farmers said it's all being sprayed. And at this point, it probably is. It probably is at this point, Fortunately, though, I don't take horse manure anymore. I know, it's horrible. Modern Pioneer Homesteader is asking for the Discord name. I don't know if there's a name. It's just Garden Like a Viking. But there's a link in the description of this video, and you can go and get into the chat. Scorpio 1969, $20. Thank you for the tip, my friend. Appreciate the contribution. So the broadleaf herbicide, I don't take horse manure anymore for that exact reason, because I think I got some of it. Well, I know I did a couple years ago, and it's horrible because you're doing all the things right, and you're like, what is not, is there not enough nitrogen in the soil? Is there not? What is the problem? The things are just not growing. So cow manure, though, we get some cow manure from people who raise their own cows and make their own hay. And I asked specifically, do you use broadleaf herbicides? And immediately she said, nope, we don't spray with any of that kind of stuff. So see, the person has to know for sure. If they're just like, I don't know, I'll ask Jeff if he does this. No, it's not worth it. And another good thing about chicken manure, is that they don't eat the hay and stuff. So chicken manure is usually very safe. Let's see here. Okay, Big Will Dog says, Nate, I put my assay process in the Discord chat that has worked for me the last 3 years. Nice. We will check that out. Thank you. Cookie Monkey says, used horse manure from our horse and donkey in a couple of hay bales a couple of years ago. Killed our garden. Never again. Just now getting soil healed. Yes, guys, listen to that. This is not what you want. It sounds sinister and it sounds intentional. It sounds like a weapon, almost. I just don't know how else to say it. So, but you can't say stuff like that because So the Raymond Alvarado, $5. Thank you for the tip, my friend. I appreciate this. Says, love your channel, Nate. Question, I have 10 brand new garden raised beds from last year, but they are infested with grubs. I don't know what to do to get rid of them. So number one, you have to figure, do you need to get rid of them? Because they can be, if they're infested with grubs, try milky spore. Research milky spore and get some of that and spray it into the soil, and that will infect the grubs and do away with them for the most part. Also, you could, Linnea Cannon says milky spore. Yeah, definitely. Now, you could do a really strong dose of the JDOM wetting agent. That will also, of the ultimate slug solution, but that will also really irritate the earthworms. So that would be a last resort. Milky spore will only target the grubs. That's what I would do. But like many things though, guys, remember in this upcoming year, you have to discern what is actually a pest that needs taken care of or what can just sort of be allowed. Like a lot of people think if they see a hole or two holes on their leaves that they got to spray with something, but you don't. Okay, a lot of that is totally natural. So you have to find that balance between, okay, what's the limit? All right. So where am I comfortable with the limit being? You have to be comfortable with some damage. Remember the saying. So what was it? So one for the mouse, one for the crow. One to die and one to grow. There we go. So one for the mouse, one for the crow, one to die and one to grow. So they're saying, plant many more than you would think that you need, because the mouse, the crow, the one will die, natural process, or it could be cabbage worms and stuff. And then you get a good one. So you So that's an important thing. A lot of people hit me up asking about solutions for things when it's not really a problem. They're just kind of, maybe they're creeped out by it. This happens a lot with the roly-poly bugs and earwig bugs. You know, people will see some and, what can I spray to eliminate them? Well, do you need to eliminate them? Are they really that bad in your soil? You know, and determine, is that the problem, or is it because you don't have enough fertility in your land, or because you don't have the right kind of drainage or airflow? Yeah. Cape Gardener says, what's your favorite ferment to eat? Boy, I eat all kinds of ferments. Kimchi, sauerkraut, definitely. Fermented tomatoes, guys. Fermented tomatoes, delicious. Still have some in the basement. Also kefir. I started fermenting the kefir again. So I stopped over the wintertime because the ambient temperature in the house is too cool. You know, it's 56 Fahrenheit at night and like 60 in the daytime is what I turn it up to. So that's just not really, it doesn't ferment because I use raw milk. So the raw milk sort of cultures before it gets cultured, in my opinion, and it alters the taste. So really 70s is the ideal temperature for the kefir. And then the kefir grains will boom overnight before the raw milk has a chance to do its thing with the lactic acid bacteria at all. So, but see how it's just starting to separate at the bottom there? Yes. And people ask me, they say, hey, I make kefir, so can I use that as labs? They're talking about, because if you leave it, it will separate. I mean, totally separate. And then they are talking about using that as labs, but no, you should just shake it up and you consume that. You don't strain anything off of kefir, guys. That's where the good stuff is. And no, it's not the same as labs anyways, biologically speaking. So, yeah. Modern Pioneer Homesteader, $5. Thank you, my friend. Says, I use rabbit and duck manure. It is hot. It is not hot. I directly apply to plants. Yes, definitely. Rabbit, duck, goat, alpaca, sheep, all of those are very benign and they can be used immediately. Yes. But they are not as powerful, though. I mean, it goes both ways. They are not nearly as powerful as horse and cow. Really, cow is some of the best that you can get. Cow manure is just, so long as it's not like infested with antibiotics and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about like from your own cows or something. That's some of the best because they're just designed to heal the land. You know, they're same with like buffalo and things. They eat grass and just graze along, and yeah. Yes. So yes, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up button. So the now, okay, here's the thing, guys. Some things. Oh, wait, look at this. Look at this. Okay, this is. I forgot that these were even there in the back of the refrigerator. These are beets. These are beets from last season, and they are still solid. We even skinned them. I was gonna juice them, and they're even skinned. Or maybe I was gonna make pickle. I forget what I was gonna do with them. But guys, listen. I mean, these are beets that have just been in the refrigerator for this whole time, and they're still rock hard and delicious. So that's pretty cool. Probably gonna juice them actually, and they still smell great. Smell like earth. K Goo says you can order kefir grains online. Yes, guys, it's in my Amazon storefront. Everything is in the Amazon storefront, even though that's not like a really good method. The Amazon storefront is a very not a fun for the creator, not a fun platform to use. It's very cumbersome for some reason. Everything's hidden behind. It's really weird. But anyways, it's all in there. So the exact grains you can order are in there, and those are the good ones. Jeffrey says, question, is there an ideal crop, a seed, to plant to test manure for safe viability? Beans. Yes, plant the bean. Plant a, any kind of bean, rattlesnake pole bean or a green bean of any kind. And that will, not only do they sprout, put it on a heat mat. Or if it's outside or whatever, then you can just let it, plant it. And they will sprout very quickly. 5-7 days, and they'll grow quickly. And you will be able to tell very fast if they are compromised. And you can plant one in soil that you know is good and safe, that didn't have the manure, and plant one with the manure. Beans and legumes are very sensitive to it. Cape Gardener said, my beets get soft. Do you freeze them? No, those were just in the refrigerator. Teats Treats says, not only is this the best live chat, it's the only one I watch. Yes, it's the only one you need, my friend. RK says, looks like sweet potatoes. Are they bull's blood? No, these were actually these Cylindra beets. And I love me some Cylindra beets, definitely. These were so sweet, and they don't taste like the soil. In a good way they do. But you know how some beets can taste like literally dirt? That's, these do not. So guys, let's just talk a little bit about seeds, what we're planting. So just yesterday, I planted the very first thing that I've direct sown, besides garlic, of course, is peas. So we just planted the peas yesterday, because it's going to be pretty mild. This spring looks like it's almost here. It's crazy. Now today, probably, I'm going to go out there and we're going to direct sow. We're going to direct sow both kinds of beets. So we're going to sow the bull's blood beets and the Cylindra, just for variety. Even though if you only want one, just do the Cylindra by far. But the bull's blood, because I juice all summer. So, because I eat with the seasons. And so in the wintertime, we're eating meat, lots of meat, and storage crops, all of the root vegetables. We're eating loads of carrots and potatoes and winter squash and onions and garlic, all that kind of stuff. And tomato stuff that we've canned, tomatoes. But when the summertime comes, we eat the bounty of the earth. We eat stir fries all summer long, but we also juice. And my juicer's in the Amazon storefront. I love it. And so I like the variety. So we will have different kinds of beets, and I have juiced the greens as well. We're going to direct sow those today. And this is in northern Indiana, zone 5/6. So you can kind of, get on board with that. We're also going to sow turnips today, which I stir fry these. I don't juice turnips, but turnips, absolutely, you can start those from seed in the garden today. Another thing that we're going to start is coral, carrot, just carrots in general. But also, if you guys are not accustomed to growing carrots, grow the new Kuroda type of carrot, because it is very forgiving and the soil doesn't have to be perfect. It will power through even kind of clay-like soil. So grow the new Kuroda kind of carrot if you are not familiar with it. Yeah, Runemaster says, what's weird to me is that beets really don't taste like soil to me. Homegrown beets, because it's a good thing. It has to do with people's palate. Kind of like some people say that cilantro tastes like soap, whereas I don't taste even a hint of that. I don't even remotely can't make that connection. So it's just like genetics and maybe past conditioning, of course. But the beets that you grow yourself are going to be loaded with minerals, and so they will taste like minerals. It's wonderful. Not in a bad way, but when you're juicing the beets, you just got to know how to counteract it, yes? Now, this is these are carrot seeds from last year. So some of the carrots went to seed, and we harvested that, and so we're going to plant the carrots from last year. I forget what kind they are. But it doesn't matter because they're going to be good. So we're going to plant those carrot seeds. You see how tiny they are? It looks like the Queen Anne's lace. You know what that is? You see wild all over the place, wild carrots. The flower looks the exact same. Farmer Cheryl says, what do you do with the juice pulp? Do you ever rehydrate it? Seen people dehydrate the pulp, pulverize, and feed to worms. You absolutely can feed to the worms. Yeah, they love it. I put it right onto the compost pile, though. I just turn it into food once again. And my compost bins are so thriving with life that I feel so, it's such a good feeling to feed them because it is just like huge handfuls of worms in there. Watch in some of my videos, I showed you the how thickly concentrated the worms are. Issa 34, $5. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the tip. Says Issaka, I directly apply to plants. Okay, good. Good, my friend. Thank you for the tip. Let's see here. JF Enterprise. That's funny. Yeah. Funny. It's a good use for these bags. Now, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Past life. Guys, so another thing that we want to start pretty soon, before long, is the marigolds. Now, marigolds are a super useful plant in the garden. Very good at pest deterrent. Very good at attracting pollinators. And the thing is that here's two different kinds. Both are giant, but the orange Hawaii has more foliage, has a lot more foliage. It's a gigantic plant. 3 feet, and it's got multiple blooms. Each bloom is like this, really big. But it's got beautiful, thick, luscious looking foliage as well. The Cracker Jack mix gets of a similar size, but it has much less foliage. It's the foliage is much more thin, and the stems are much thinner. Still has nice big blooms of varying colors, but the foliage is just so much different. So, you can plant a combination of the two. Rose says, Nate, what's the story on thumbs up? I mean, on the old movies that you made, is thumbs up still good? Absolutely. Any video that you watch of mine, if you want to support the operation, the channel, put the thumbs up. That's the easiest way for you to just support the growth of the channel, because it shows engagement. And so it shows that people, oh, they like your content. It's engaging content. We'll show it to other people. Yeah. So yes. Now, another thing that we're going to do is plant the parsnips. One of you guys sent me, and I will send you the Tahitian melon squash seeds. Don't worry. Although there's plenty of time still. But yes, I will send you those. So don't worry. I've got the address. But these are Halblong Weiss, half-long white parsnips. So thank you very much, the guy who sent these. And we're going to plant these directly pretty much soon. Very soon, probably today. Let's see. Judy Coker says, having problems with spider mites in seedlings. Would love to know your suggestions for prevention and control. Yes. So spider mites can be difficult. A little bit of them is not a problem, but if they get out of control, then the wetting agent will work. Some of the J-Dom wetting agent, you could apply small amount of the sulfur, but mostly just the wetting agent will be enough. You'll mix it nice and strong. So yes, that's what I would do. $5. Thank you for the tip, my friend. So with the mites, yeah, that's what the wetting agent will dissolve them. So actually you can make the ultimate slug solution. The one that I have in the video, the ultimate slug solution video, that will take care of any soft-bodied creature. Yeah, it will melt them. So definitely. Let's see. AK Froggy says, I just got the Egyptian walking onions from Strictly Medicinal Seeds. Looks really healthy. I'm hoping for the best. Yes, man, you got to order them from the Viking Tribe, of course. Can't be getting them from some other place. What's up with that? Our Valhalla onions aren't good enough for you? Just kidding. Scott Murray, $10. Thanks, Dad. Hopefully you'll get growing something this year. It's just some tomatoes. We could do a couple of bags at the place, buckets even. Tomatoes, just tomatoes and peppers. A couple of peppers we could do. Yes. So yes, thank you for the tip. So now what else? There was a point. Okay, Richard Hoof says, at what point do you stop topping the onion plants? When you plant them. So after you plant them, we no longer, after you transplant them outside, that's it. We no longer top them. Now, a lot of people talk about you top your onions. You'll see on YouTube people topping their onions while they're in the ground, while they're getting big. I never do that because here is why. The onion will, as you know, because you watch this channel, the long day onions put out all of their vegetative growth, meaning their leaf growth, as the days are getting longer. Then once the summer solstice hits and the days begin getting shorter, it signals to the plant to stop leaf production and to begin bulb production. And so it doesn't grow any more leaves, and it will focus all of its energy on the bulb production. And it does this very, very fast. It goes from having almost no bulb to a full plump bulb in like 4 weeks. So in order to do this that fast, it has to have a lot of energy. A lot of energy is required. And how does the plant get energy? From the sun. And how does it capture that? By its solar panels, which are its leaves. And so if you're cutting off, the leaves of the onion plant, when it's growing like that, you are cutting off their solar panels. And so that's just not the way to do it. That I've not had the best success. You get smaller, weaker onions that way because you want to give them everything or let them use is the full power of the sun. Yes. But you want to encourage leafy growth up to that point. So foliar feed your onions with the fish fertilizers. Any of the fish fertilizers are going to be great for the onions because they will, when you foliar feed plants, it encourages more leafy growth. It does. More so than if you just put it into the soil because the plant is absorbing from their leaves. And so it says, whoa, we need to absorb more. It just wants more. So it will encourage the plant to produce a lot more leafy growth. This is a fact. So you can foliar them with the fish fertilizer. I mean, if you really want to get crazy with it, like a lot of us do, I mean, if you really are into it, then you can foliar feed, several times a week. You could foliar feed twice a week with the fish fertilizer, and your plants will love it, at night. So, and if you have slight slug problems or slight, pest issues, you can foliar feed with the wetting agent and the fish fertilizer together. And the wetting agent alone is going to help to really deter a lot from, especially slugs and cabbage worms from your stuff. So, hello, Alexander. Modern Pioneer, $2. Thank you again, my friend. Says, I'm in Central Florida. Can I grow onions now and garlic? I can't say for sure about Central Florida. I can't say for sure. The garlic you could plant now, yes, but you would want to vernalize it first. You would want, or stratify it in the freezer. Put it in the freezer for at least a week or two before you put it out. Wendy Crane says, yep, I've learned the hard way about hay as well. I was lied to about what was on the hay and it killed my garden. Yes, this is becoming more and more prevalent. Yes, Blue Wolf, this is very true. Says spider mites reproduce every 7 days. Almost all sprays are ineffective on the eggs. So a week after you spray, the mites are back. This is right. Yeah, it was a perpetual, in Northern California, it was a perpetual battle against the mites, especially indoors, because outside was a cold, sort of wet rainforest in Northern California. It rains nonstop for like 6 months. And so then indoors, we had this nice hot, 75, 80 degrees, the lights are on and everything. And so the mites were like, hey, screw this outside. We're going to go in there. And so it was tough to keep them out. Douglas Neville, $20. Thank you, my friend. Says, I don't remember if I had ordered the walking onions, I think, and some seeds that you were providing with it. Is that still available? Please reminding viewers for thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up, guys. Doug, I don't believe that you are on the list at this point. I will check, but I don't think so. So the best way to do it, guys, is just to, yes, it's still available. It's still available. We're still taking them. So the best way to do it, I like, is one of the electronic methods because it's easier to keep track of. But if you want to send it old school, you know, via a Raven, that's fine. That's the post office. That is also fine. And we will put you on the list. So here, probably next time or the time after, I'll start reading the list a bit more, you know. So there is like 30 or 40 people on there already. So I don't know how many we're going to take, but get them if you want them. So M. Omasi says, can I spray the fish fertilizer on salads? Yes, you can spray it on the leafy greens, no problem. Just use common sense. Don't spray it and then harvest it. Or don't spray, I mean, you know, spray. I mean, even though I wash everything thoroughly, I'm just not concerned about it. I mean, but that's also why I don't use any of the other ferments on the leaves anymore. The aerated compost tea, I would be 100% confident to spray it and literally harvest it and eat it that day. I do that sometimes. If I spray or if I, foliar feed water with them and I'm like, oh, I need to eat the collard greens. I've done that many times and not a problem, guys. It just makes a more robust immune system. I can't tell you how many people hit me up with their overwhelming concerns about the pathogens in the anaerobic ferments and stuff. And I'm just like, guys, you don't need to live that sterile. I mean, we're using our common sense and we wash everything, of course, but you also just develop a robust immune system. That's the real ticket. And that's what this helps you to do. A little bit of the fish fertilizer and stuff. I mean, it's outdoors, it's growing, it's extremely healthy. So no, I'm not concerned about any of these pathogen things. I've been doing this for years and never had any issues whatsoever. And neither has anyone that I've known that has done any of this kind of stuff. But people just get hypersensitive about that stuff now. You know, germs and pathogens and all that stuff. Okay, Richard Hoof. Thank you, my friend. $25 via the PayPal. Appreciate this. Let's see if there was a question with it. No, there was not. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate that tip. Also, Nancy DeWalt, thank you. $20 via CashApp. And says, how do I find safe straw? Or store-bought safe? Straw typically is not sprayed with any of that kind of stuff because they don't really do that. It's sprayed with glyphosate, yes, but it's not the persistent broadleaf herbicide. Roundup, glyphosate, which they do use to terminate a lot of wheat, is not, most wheat and oats are sprayed with glyphosate heavily, but it is not typically in the straw because they don't need, nothing is eating that. It's just not this. It's typically in hay and typically equestrian hay. So a safe straw, you're best to develop a relationship with the person selling it around you. You know, that's the best way to do it. And you have to ask them specifically and look them in the eye, you know, and say, hey, it's very important to me that this is not sprayed with any broadleaf herbicide, like 2,4-D or something, or Grazon. You can use those terms, but any broadleaf, you know, just say it like that. And if they don't know, then don't get it. But if they know for sure and they're like, nope, we don't spray with anything like that, then you get it. Yeah. Linnea Cannon, yeah, easy straw at Lowe's. Yeah, you could do that, definitely, if you don't need that much. But man, when I was down in Tennessee just a couple weeks ago, my friend there, we were doing some projects and getting the garden ready. We were planting root stout potatoes and some garlic and stuff. And we were talking about straw, and he was like, yeah, straw around here is like $12 or $14 a bale. I was like, what? That was, yeah, I guess it just, I guess they don't grow straw that much now, which would make sense because it's sort of mountainous. But it's like $4 here. You know, it used to be like $2 or 3, but now it's like 4, or the real high quality fluffy stuff is like 6, but that's maximum I've heard of. Dagmar says, I'm not concerned about pathogens, but about all the chemicals in our world. Oh, yeah, absolutely a whole different thing. Definitely. The chemicals, for sure. Chemicals are totally different. The pathogens that we're talking about that people are all concerned about is very different, though. Yeah. Chemicals, for sure. Guys, here's another thing. Yod pha. So if you guys live in a hot place, so this is native to Thailand. And if you guys live in a hot place and you like, have you ever been to like an Asian restaurant and they have like broccoli, what looks like broccoli or rapini kind of? This is it. And so it grows and it loves hot, humid conditions, no problem. All parts of the plant are edible. And mine last year got huge. I mean, it got like 3.5, 4 feet tall, big old leaves on it. Produced a bunch of these sprouts, these flowers, but pick them before they flower, and stir fries. You can make beef with broccoli, with ginger and garlic. Oh, so good. And so yes, you can. This is a good thing to plant. When other things have gone to bolt and stuff, the Yod pha is very heat tolerant. It's frost sensitive though, so it's not a cold hardy green. R. Heath, $20. Thank you, my friend. Says, do potatoes do well in wet, fertile soil? It is low land and stays pretty wet most of the year. And can fruit trees tolerate wet soil too? Potatoes aren't really going to like that. No, because they grow in the ground. Now, if you did the Ruth Stout method, they could, where you just essentially will lay them on the surface and then cover them with several feet of straw. Now, that could work. I don't know how wet you're talking about, but if you're putting them traditional method, like in the ground and stuff, they're not going to like that. They're just not going to like that. So fruit trees could work. If you build up, you're going to need to build up the mounds. You're going to need to do some work on that, because really no plants are going to appreciate wet, soggy soil roots like that, because the oxygen can't get into there. The air can't get in there. That's why a lot of times in low-lying places, nothing is growing. So it's not really going to like that. You're best to maybe utilize containers or fabric grow pots of some kind, something like that. I would have to see. You know, you could put pictures in the Discord chat and tag me in them, and I could probably see them and say more about that. David Lethoff says, so when do we plant out our onion seedlings? That's going to depend upon your specific environment. But here, you can pretty much plant them out because the weather is so warm now. But give or take April 10th, April 20th. Yeah, April 20th at the latest, we'll say, is what you want to do it. Okay, thank you, Daniel Kesner, $5 via PayPal. Appreciate it, my friend. Has no question in there. Just like to give a tip, so thank you. So the onion seedlings can go out. They're very, very cold hardy. So long as it doesn't get below 17 degrees. I mean, I've had it 17 degrees and they were fine. They froze solid till at the point I went out there and bent it and just busted off of my finger, you know, and then they thawed out and every one of them survived. So my green onions are still there, and it was like negative. It got down to -1 or 2 this winter for some time without much snow cover, and they are fine. So the onions, you just want to make sure that they are hardened off properly before you plant them out. Rose says, wouldn't it be better to use leaves instead of straw? You definitely can use leaves. Yeah, I don't know what method you're talking about, but like, You have to be careful using the, and ask me how I know this, using leaves, whole leaves for like planting potatoes in the root stout method. I did it and the leaves will form like a mat. They'll form like a thick mat to where things can't sprout up around them. That's why they make a great mulch. But if you chop them up, absolutely. Or if you're careful with it, you can do it. But remember, the leaves will form an interlocking mat, and garlic can't come up through it. I suffocated garlic one year doing it that way. Nothing wants to come up through that, except thistles and dandelions. They'll come up through concrete. But so yeah, you got to be careful with the leaves. Just remember that they will form an interlocking mat that is impenetrable to most plants. That's why straw we do it fluffy, and that it leaves spaces that things can push up through easily. Garlic and potatoes can easily push up through that. Okay, Sharon E, $40. Thank you, my friend. Via PayPal says, this is for the onions and any seeds you care to send. That will be the Tahitian melon squash seeds from the Viking garden. Thanks for all that you do for the tribe, Sharon. All right, my friend. Fellow Hoosier. Nice. Got you down. So yeah, guys, it's going to be great when we're all growing from the same batch, and these were given to me many years ago from the Buddhist monks at the Indiana Buddhist temple. And someone gave them to them and they said, here, and it gave me just a small little handful of them. And then I grew them and grew them and grew them and grew them. And then there were so many, I put them out at my uncle's at the Viking garden in the country. And then boom, now they're multiplying. And now we've gotten like several hundred feet of them. So now we got to start giving them out to you guys. Yeah. All right. Torrance O, $40 via PayPal, says walking onions. Yes, but I don't see your address, my friend. You got to put that address in there. Okay. You got to give me the address to send it to. So you could also, yeah. You might need to do like another $5 or something because I need to have the address on this platform because otherwise it'll get confusing to me. But however, send me the address. Thank you very much for doing that. So yeah, don't forget, guys, when you make a payment of any kind for them onions, you got to send that address. All right. And so now it'll be really cool in a couple years when all you guys have got patches of walking onions and you're giving them away to people and stuff. And it's crazy. So they're really good. Shallot and green onion. They're a fantastic thing. Okay, let's see here. Lee Star, this is Daniel K. Oh, okay. I couldn't ask a question the way I paid. As you can see, my screen name is Lee Star. Okay, do you got a question? Let me see the question, my friend. Thank you for the contributions. Justin Millward has a question about leaf mold. Okay, when I harvest seaweed, I can't help think of the Vikings who sailed the seas before my time. Oh yes, I feel you. One question, leaf mold or leaves as mulch or seaweed? Yeah, guys, can you imagine the spirit of those people at that time, the Vikings, like that? Setting off, totally into the unknown. Some of the first people, well, we're just going to sail out into the open ocean. Man, if you've been out in the ocean, even on modern craft, it is wow. Just imagine the spirit of that. So leaf mold or leaves as mulch or seaweed. Now, they're going to be different things. They're really going to be different things. So seaweed would be good to put down and then leaves over it. To lock that in there. Seaweed's going to decompose much faster than leaves because there's so much more nitrogen involved. So, let's see here. Okay. So I would say leaves are best. I mean, if you've got seaweed, make a liquid fertilizer out of the seaweed. Get a barrel and put the seaweed in there. Put some leaf mold in there. Fill it rest of the way with the water, and make a liquid fertilizer out of that. That's going to be very stimulating to the growth. Very good. Let us see. That was a joke. $10. Thank you, my friend. Says, I live in North Central Texas and I'm considering growing my own grain for straw. What varieties do you recommend, please? You know, I can't speak on that because I grew wheat several years in a row to do just that, to grow my own grain, you know, and harvest it and stuff. But unless you have industrialized technology or a village full of people that are all about it, harvesting the grain is totally absurdly energy input prohibitive. You know what I'm saying? Way too much energy is required for what you get out of the grains, unless you have industrial tech or the village full of people willing to work. So I stopped. So I can't recommend any. Sorry. Okay, all right, got you. Link, thank you, my friend, $50. Walking onions, bro ham, and a long overdue tip. Link, okay, let me take a, here we go. Yes, also pajezi.com. $40 for the walking onions and seeds. Fantastic. But I don't see oh, wait. Yeah, okay. I see the shipping address. Got you. Okay, very good. Thank you. Let's see here. And then, yes, okay. Still need that one from Terrence, though. And so here we go. Link. Here's what I'm going to do with this. Here's how. Okay, take a photo of that. Got you. I will send them to that address, my friend. Thank you. Let's see. Someone sent me a question. Let's see here. $40, Doug, is $40 is the payment for the seeds for the walking onions. So let's see here. Big Will Dog says, not good idea to put out personal info out there. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but fortunately he's safe here. I wouldn't do that anywhere else, though. Oh, yeah, good idea. Okay, Jay Dixon says, delete. Okay, yeah. Link, you could delete that if you wanted to. I got a picture of it, so I got it. You're good. But I prefer, though, the PayPal or the Cash App way of doing that, though, just so that we're clear, so that everybody, because YouTube takes a little cut of this, you know, and the PayPal, Cash App, Venmo takes no cut. Tiny little percent. But, you know, I have no problem giving some of the money to YouTube because I am so deeply appreciative for this platform and for everything that it allows us to do. So I have no problem with that, really. Yes. Okay. Terrence, got it. Yes. Thank you. All right. Oh, wait, we got several. Okay. They're just coming in now. Okay. Got it, Terrence. Got you. Oh, fellow Hoosier. All right. That's what we like to see. And then also Sam. Yes. 4444. Walking onions. Got you. Thank you, man. We're filling up. So I'm going to have to take stock and see how many that we have of people to make sure that we're not going to oversell. So we'll see. Okay, so a few more things, guys. What are we talking about? Now, one thing that I am going to like this year is, so last year we grew the watermelons. And our favorite of all was the Alibaba watermelons. and they were so delicious. We still have watermelon juice from them, and I highly recommend them. Now, another one, though, that I've had good success with that I'm going to grow again this year is the blacktail watermelon. They stored really good. They stored into January several years ago. So this is also another really good one. But the Alibaba is wow. Johnny Appleseed says, what are the options for seeds? I want in. Just send the $40 and your address to PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App in the links in the description to those. So then you can do it there. Julianne Scott, $100. Thank you, my friend. Oh my goodness. Look at you guys. Thank you for the contribution. Please, what is your question or your series of questions? Thank you very much, my friend. And you're a consistent supporter of the channel. All you guys that consistently support the channel just really means a lot to me. So it's very inspirational. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Julianne. Link says, thank you, guys. I ain't even thinking. I'm out here trying to get things done in the garden. Yeah, don't worry. You're good here. Hoosier Proud says, watermelon's my favorite food by far. Wow, yes. Super good. Very good for nitric oxide production. Ramona Paravola got the $50. Thank you, my friend. Walking Onions, got it. Chicago, got you. Got everything that we need. So thank you. And Chris Black says, I look forward to your live stream every Saturday. Yes, definitely. So much good energy. Julianne says, can I send you my address this way? Would like to get onions and seeds. Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, if you want, you can just put the address here and I'll take a screenshot. Then you can delete it if you want or whatever. Or you can just email it to gardenlikeaviking@gmail.com. And I got you. You know, I'll put that onto the list. So yes, we could do it that way if we want. Okay, so I got this also from D. Swain. Says, hi Nate, just sent off a snail mail order for the walking onions. Please put my, that means the P.O. Box, sorry. Please put my name on the list. It will be there in a few days. Okay, got you, AK. Got it. We'll put you on the list. Guys, we're going to be growing some walking onions. I mean, can you even do the math and figure how many millions of walking onions are going to come from that one handful from the monks several years ago? So that's pretty cool. What? Chris Black says, Google told me as of August 1st of this year, Gmail is going away forever. That seems unlikely, but maybe. Kill Me Last, Our Rules of Survival says, too much rain, root rot everywhere. What can I do? If you're already to that point, guys, there's not much you can do. If you're already planted, you have to anticipate the rain and you have to build raised beds or swales or something that is going to help to mitigate that. Once it's already in the ground, there's not really much you can do. What's up, Kenny Green? Mountainside Homestead says, what's the address for the snail mail for the walking onions? There's a link. If you go to the description of this video, it's in the P.O. box. So there's the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App link, but then underneath that is the P.O. box. So you can send it to that. Okay, Big Will Dog says, Nate, DTV has asked the question, can I use leaf mold for compost tea instead of compost? Several times. I answered, but they want your thoughts. Okay, thank you for that. And the thing is that, sorry guys, I just have to acknowledge this. Thank you, Curtis. Got your $40 and got the shipping address. Okay, you're on the books. So leaf mold, as far as the compost, no, it's not a replacement, unfortunately. Hold on one second. So the leaf mold is not going to be high enough in the nutrients. It's not going to be diverse. I mean, the leaf, okay, well, you'll see when I do the aerated compost tea recipe that I do use some leaf mold, but real leaf mold, not like decomposed leaves that we made in a pile. The leaf mold that we use for the other things. And that's one thing that separates my type of compost tea from the others, and you will see. But no, for the compost tea, it is absolutely paramount that you have super high quality compost. And I will be showing you guys a method of hot composting that will give you good quality compost in 3 weeks, give or take. Yes, that you can use. But hopefully you've already begun. You already need to be having the compost ready. So it's not going to have what you want in it. It's not going to have the nutrients, the diversity of the microorganisms. So yes. Julie Ann says, Nate, emailed you my address. Thank you for all you do for all of us. You have made my gardening skills blossom. Thank you, my friend. Okay, good. Then I will put you on the list. Yeah, Nayland Coco says, very hard to get onion seeds in Thailand. Yeah, they would use more like green onions. It's when you're that close to the equator, and it's like 6 hours, it's like 12 hours, that can be tough to grow onions. So they'll have like perpetual, that's why they use a lot more shallots in Thailand. So like the walking onions would be ideal for there, you know? Okay. Okay, Curtis, thank you. Got your address. North Carolina, got you. Justin Millward says, should I add calcium to each watering? For the outside plants, the calcium thing really is if you do the soil right, you shouldn't really need to use the calcium supplements that much. So those are more for like if you have sort of forgotten. Or if you notice that the plants are lacking in the calcium, then you can spray. You can use it. Definitely use in the soil, in the roots and stuff. But if you're doing the soil right, there should be plenty of nutrients in there and the microorganisms to unlock that. So it could add gypsum or azomite. These kind of things are really good for the soil. But yeah, you can add the calcium every time you water. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be a problem so long as you're doing the proper dilution rates. Whoa, Pilar says you can make pickled watermelon rind. It's yummier than it sounds. We do that with green mangoes too. Let me know how We could definitely try that. Andre Puskas says, hi, Nate. I'm going to start JLF with grass clippings and leaf mold. How long it should be decomposed before I can use it? Well, ideally, totally decomposed. I mean, ideally all season, really. But if you didn't start last season and you're going to start now and you're going to use it this season, then just a couple of weeks is enough. But remember, just apply to the soil. We're not going to be spraying it onto the plants. But just a few weeks is enough, especially if it's hot, if it's in the sun, or if it's warm, then yes. Yes. So, part-time Greek vegan said, a Greek vegan, that's almost like an oxymoron, isn't it? So it sounds like mixing shredded leaves and seaweed with a little dirt maybe would be great for growing potatoes. I think I'll try it this year. Absolutely. That's a good combination. And I should have recommended that to the person that asked about seaweed or leaves as mulch. You could shred them together and and have a very high quality. Absolutely. Regina RN. Okay, someone did ask about the cabbage moths. Guys, watch the Ultimate Seedling or the Ultimate Slug Solution video. That's the answer to the cabbage moths. Netting also can work, definitely, but I just can't be bothered. The netting, maybe, sometime when probably not. But so the slug solution though will just annihilate them and the eggs as well. It dries them out and it's done. Yeah. Okay, Pilar, thank you. You're going to email it to me. Cody Lee says, early out, Viking Tribe. See y'all next week. Hope everyone has a blessed Easter. Yes, you guys too. Yeah, so we're approaching the end, guys, of our time together. And so if anyone has any burning questions, you can get them asked. And guys, if you've asked your question like 15 times, I still haven't answered it, I'm sorry. But that's just the way it is. I'm not consciously not answering your question, so do not take it personal. I know. Doug says, is there anything that can be done about stopping these ads during a live chat? This is driving me crazy. Unless you get YouTube Premium, no. YouTube has changed a lot their thing recently, and I talk about this often, but they no longer give you the option. You used to be able to do it, but now if you don't put ads during your live stream, if you don't monetize the live stream, meaning you don't make money off of it, then they'll say, okay, YouTube will still put their ads on your videos and they'll keep 100% of the money. So no, I'm not going to be doing that. Nancy Cagle says, okay, did you announce the Chattanooga class? Guys, remember, if anyone is anywhere close to the Chattanooga area, on the 27th of April, I'll be doing a JDOM course, like a seminar kind of thing at the Community Garden Center. I'll give you details later. If anybody wants the details, let me know. But it'll be like at 4:30 p.m. for a few hours, and it'd be cool to meet you guys, shake your hand, see what's up, put a face to the name. So yeah, we'll be doing a class there, all right? Yes, Graham, there we go. My friend says, hi, Nate. I've been glued since the start. Best gardening channel on YouTube. See you Monday, my friend. Yes, guys. And he's talking about the Thrive cast that we do on Thrive Like a Viking channel, which is one of my other channels. And 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, we do we start with just a 10-minute guided meditation, and then we talk about all kinds of wonderful stuff that lead to thriving. Growing your own food is just part of the equation, but we also have to understand how to unlock the subconscious mind and its unlimited power, these kind of things. So Monday, we're going to be talking about motivation, and in particular, how to achieve it, what it is, where it comes from, and what is sabotaging our motivation and thirst for life. So the Urban Gardener says, great live again, Nate. Yes, thank you, my friend. Good to see you here. Guys, remember, we did a podcast on that channel a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch it. It's there for you guys to watch. He's got a great podcast. Yeah, I know. See, people are like, I want the recipe for pickled watermelon rinds. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Nancy, JDOM slug solution will get the snails as well. Guys, that slug solution is just about all that you need, seriously. So, okay, guys, check out the links in the description. And yes, to answer your question, the Amazon, so if you guys shop on Amazon at all and you want to support this operation in a way that is super easy to do, then just use the link in the description to go to Amazon through my storefront. And then as long as you leave that browser window open, anything that you purchase during that session in that window will go towards me, go towards my account, which is great because it doesn't cost you any more. And we get to, why give it to Amazon? Why not give it to us? So that's better because this will grow our operation. So anything that it doesn't have to be from my storefront. If you just go into Amazon from my storefront, everything will be contributed to the operation. And I would greatly appreciate that. Okay. So we will see you guys Monday morning at 10:30 on the Thrive channel, and then 12 noon Eastern right here next week. And thank you guys for everything, all the donations, all the stuff. If you still want to get in on the walking onions, send me the $40 and the address. Okay. Thank you, my friends.